is off on Revolution Radio. So that would mean there would be no break over there. So guess what, man? We're gonna spank that monkey the first epic thing in the morning. Red Radio. God bless you. Welcome. It's time for the Revolution in the Morning show, live from Franklin County, Virginia. That's right, where everywhere is legal moonshine today, now that that law has been overturned. God bless America. They can take our gasoline, but they can never take our moonshine. Always remember that. We already have our own ways to do stuff. It's just we've all been put bottle fed, you know. Everybody runs around life like it. Where's the nipple? Where's the nipple? And give me the easy way out. I don't want to have to break a sweat. Where's the nipple? I mean, come on. Everybody get out of the twosies, okay? You know, the twosies, when, I don't know, are you still on the twosies? I don't think so. After 6 months to a year, hey, that kid's going to have to be starting to work. I mean, what do you want? The globalists need the infants to work in America. The infants work in Somalia and everywhere else in the world. I mean, you got 2-year-olds and up, literally in the workforce in most countries in Africa and the world. Yeah. Anyway, God bless America. All right, let's get down to it. Let's see what the stupids are up to in Washington, D.C. Let's see what the New World Order and the fucking morons across this globe. Yes. Anyway, until I see the source code, I don't believe it. I'm a skeptic. I gotta see it to believe it. You know, I already saw two people. An old man and an old woman that had died in a fire. I saw them cross into a light. It was life-changing shit, man. I'm telling you. Because once you're thinking that it's all, you know, it's the better age of living through chemicals. You know, it's all the drugs and all the stuff you can do when you're young and to make you feel good. You take this pill and that pill and... You know, you don't save your silver. You drink colloidal silver. I mean, yeah. Well, I learned a long time ago that better living through chemistry is just doesn't work. Okay. Anyway, so let's get over here, get to the news and information that you can use. Yeah, where are we at here? Oh, God, people are proving how stupid the world is day after day. I mean, you have to ask, what the fuck is wrong with people? I mean, really. A dispatch from inside the Vatican bubble during the remarkable exchange between Pope and the president, you know, it's I mean, I'm sorry, if the Pope turned Jewish, he should just stay the fuck out of Catholicism, okay? He should stay out of any Christian fucking religion. He shouldn't go in any churches. He should go to the synagogues of fucking Satan. It's the group of the motherfuckers that well, let's just say that he's joined at the hip with now. I can't tell where Donald Trump's hand ends, and you know where the nutsack of Bibi Netanyahu might be falling. It's It's a remarkable flip for someone to be literally fighting against the New World Order to literally flip like a fucking pancake over to the dark side. Yeah, I mean let's just say it's more stupid on stupid. Donald Trump wanting a clean revision or a clean sweep change of the fix of the 702 Intel destroying the civil liberties of America. That's what the FISA court does. Okay, they did it against President fucking Trump. And here he's just big fucking retarded asshole now, where he says, oh yeah, bring it all on. And as I pointed out on my Tuesday night show, these dickheads and sorry motherfuckers at effing Bastards Incorporated, they couldn't find their pecker if they had a hole in their pants pocket. And in some cases at the FBI, you could say that some of these fucking agents couldn't find their balls through their purse that they carry around. Ha! I mean, if you're an investigatory body and you can't define a fucking woman and you can't find one, well, then you in deep fucking shit. How are you going to search and find traitors in America? Only a few people in the Trump administration have really done their jobs. Pam Bondi acted as, this asshole that literally by design fumbled away Trump's chances to literally do damage to the deep state in America. Pam Bondi covered for them. Todd Blanche is continuing that cover by literally shutting down Epstein everything. They shut it all down because Epstein goes directly back to the Mossad. That's what I had to say about them fuckers, okay? I'll probably die mysteriously someday, and or I may be like Gary, what's his name, the reporter. Suicide, 2 bullets to the head. That's called government assisted suicide, okay? It used to be illegal, but now it's becoming legal. I mean, this is just the question is, what the fuck is wrong with people today? Have they all lost their ever-loving, stupid fucking mind? Because somebody has rid them to the fucking ground. Because somebody has stolen from them. Look, those are the times when you can rise above those that you believed you were dealing with and deal with people that are authentic and real. And there's hard choices, Hey, the hardest choices we have to make in life have to do with ourselves most of the time. And others. God, man, I've just been such a pickle right now, you guys. I want to say a lot more about stuff, but I really can't right now. That's what I'll say, okay? So I'm going to have to move on. As I warned you guys earlier, months ago, remember I was talking about months ago, the golden era of foreclosure surges are sweeping the nation, okay? Bank of America has come out and said, oh yeah, we analyzed the spending of our customers, and we found that they're spending 16% more of their disposable income of their monies on fuel. Now, I would be willing to bet they're not including that effing electric bill that because of the green climate change nonsense, because of the big push for data centers and brainwashing centers everywhere. That's what, if you want to call a data center, just call it a brainwashing center. Because all of the numbers and all of the everything is in the end, all of that infrastructure is used to manipulate mankind in real time. Okay, that's one of the things that they're doing. But yeah, like I said months ago that look, it's coming. It's here. They've started rolling it out, and but foreclosure surges are sweeping across the United States as people, the culmination of of in, of inflation. That's the word I was looking for. I was going to say interest, but actually it's inflation. With inflation across multiple sectors of their lives. While they spent $16 more for gas, anybody who goes to even a fast food shop or a grocery store, everybody knows how much those fucking prices have gone up. Even Doritos was pushing $7 for a big bag of Doritos or whatever the fucker. I mean, it's like, really? I mean, it's a plunge too far. So understand that this foreclosure crisis is tied to inflation within the economy in general, and it is the same old flip of the script too. Remember that it takes the consumer, and when all of this inflation trickles down, you've already experienced it. Till they calculate it and they say it. You've already lived through months of it. And because of the politics of everything. The politics of everything has, remember the Biden administration was paying the mortgages on over 1 million houses in the United States of America. So they would know, so they would not go into foreclosure, and the people could make the payments. So the government started making the payments. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac started making mortgage payments for people. So the numbers would look good for the Biden economy. That's, if how can we have a real economy? Number one, if we don't know what the real numbers are, and number two, if 60 or 70% of America's gross domestic product, of the goods and businesses that buys and sells in America, if 50 or 60% of that is just government operation, that doesn't say a whole fucking hell of a lot for the rest of the world, does it? Or the rest of the country, the rest of society. The rest of society is running on fumes. You're essentially talking about civilization, not government. Government's a whole corrupted civilization by itself. Even a 60-40 split towards the people and consumerism or capitalism. How about just free thinking for people? But yeah, think about it. It is something that is going on, and this fact that we have $40 trillion in government debt. Government has essentially been the backstop of all of the economy. We already know, and we can see, like when they ran the COVID scamdemic, and they had just they were due and had a viral, I think it was influenza B, instead of COVID. Most of the people that died from COVID didn't die from COVID. They died from medical assisted treatment, murder, manslaughter. Take your pick. As many as it was in the hospitals that got killed and murdered and slaughtered by experimental drugs that Dr. Fauci had to withdraw because, well, they killed more people than Ebola. I mean, you got to be a fucking nut job. You got to be something seriously wrong with your motherfucking brain if you take an experimental drug that was withdrawn from Ebola trials because the drug itself killed more people than the disease, Ebola. Now, how would we know this? We would know this because there were people that never had Ebola that were injected with Remdesivir in a drug trial run by none other than Dr. fucking Fauci. Our government has not told us the truth, because if they'd have told us the truth, we'd have stormed in the streets and strung the sons of bitches up like it was the 1930s again, and they were cleaning house in the government. Well, I'm not lying. The American people are this far. The British people are reaching their point, or I should say they've reached their active organizing point, where, like I said before, the Irish Republican Army, the army of the English, maybe, those armies are forming, and those militias in the UK are going in action now. It is going to be one hot fucking summer across all of Europe, okay? You're going to see the boiling points reached in many of these places, okay? It is becoming clear that government has been on an effort for replacement of their own citizens, okay? And when you allow illegal immigrants and legal immigrants to come in your country and rape and murder and slaughter on whole scale because their religion tells them that you're a fucking lower life form. Understand that ideology, that idea, that belief that these motherfuckers are bringing into, like, England, bringing into France, bringing in into America. Understand, that's how these fucks think in their own country. That's not how we think here in the United States of America. If my neighbor down the road had a bunch of Jews that came up and said, "Get out of the house. This is our Jewish house now," first off, the law enforcement in this area, they would probably haul those motherfuckers to jail and say, "Look, this isn't the West Bank. This isn't Syria. This isn't the Gaza Strip, where you can use your superior, your belief of superiority to literally steal someone's private property. Okay? So, listen. It's coming fast, and it's going to get here faster than these poor bastards realize that everybody is going to turn their backs on Israel except for the extreme Zionists in multiple places, okay? I'm just saying, it's the atrocities that Israel commits every day. The United States of America, if it was a Muslim nation, if it was another fucking nation anywhere else but not that fucking crisscross Nazi star, the United States of America would have sanctions. We would be deploying military personnel. In all honesty, we would be bombing the shit out of them. That's just the truth. If any other nation in the world does what Israel does, they would be fucking slaughtered. But because the genociders can now get permission, or the genocided get permission to become the genociders. Sorry, they don't. And that's not anti-Semitic. That's just reality. I mean, it's, it's reality. I think all these motherfuckers, half these motherfuckers in America, these liberal fucking clowns that gay and lesbian or I'm gonna choke on that motherfucking acronym, MMI, missing, murdered, indigenous, bisexual, gay, trans, lens, gay, plus. Okay? We'll just call it all fucked up plus. God, it's sheer crazy today. The world that we're surviving in. Okay? Meanwhile, as a Paramount awaits a deal closing in a massive monopolized grab to buy Warner Brothers, David Elliston, of course, right from Paramount, the owner, the billionaire, is honoring Donald Trump with with a deal, or with a party and everything else. It's like, yeah, really? While they're waiting on a massive deal so they can create a bigger monopoly, they're going to throw Donald Trump an invitation-only dinner next week honoring the President of the United States, Richard Milhouse Nixon. Oh, never mind. No, Donald J. Trump. Yeah, don't forget Nixon. Don't forget Nixon. Nixon got taken out by the CIA. All right. Of course, you're aware, and I know you guys. I know you guys here, and I know you understand, and you see what's going on in the world. Tulsi Gabbard came down with another set of. Can you indict these motherfuckers that we never hear from? We never see the government indicting the motherfuckers that should be indicted because, well, if the indictment of CIA, NSA, so-called whistleblower Eric Ciaramella, whose name has now been officially unmasked. Listen, if you didn't know that Lard-ass Colonel Vindeman and Eric Ciaramella were both involved in the first impeachment about the Iranian or Ukrainian phone call that Donald Trump made and had, okay? Yeah, everybody knew that it was Eric Ciaramella. Just as everybody knows that Barack Obama, James Comey, John O. Brennan, James Clapper, all conspired against President Trump when he was running as a candidate in 2016. Okay? Everybody in the world knows that hundreds of motherfucking shitbags that are still in our government, there's hundreds that have fled because, well, they can't be just brought in and questioned and, lie detector tested. If they're a civilian, really, and besides, look, everybody in the world knows that the fucking bastards incorporated the FBI. Everybody knows that the crack in America, drug running motherfuckers, stabbing, backstabbing, government running motherfuckers, sons of bitches. Everybody knows that they're a bunch of fucking lying sacks of shit. And they have their own agents within the Democrat and Republican parties. Everybody knows that. It's that open secret that nobody wants to say. Like Adam Schiff, has leaked the classified material from classified documents and has attempted to get Donald Trump impeached through smear campaigns. That's all documented. That fucking scumbag is still up there lying to America and lying to the world when the truth is he should be cobbled to a fucking ball and chain and be given a fucking sledgehammer and a big ass rock and say, start dinging it, baby. Yeah, hard labor for almost life for some of these motherfuckers. And fucking, of course, the death penalty for the top tier sons of bitches. It's it's a whole line of such conspiratorial shit that you have to scratch your fucking you have to scratch your chin and say, what the motherfuck? Like when Trader 44 and his CIA with John O'Brien in charge. Now remember, John O'Brien is, I believe, a registered communist. He is also a fucking Muslim, okay? First off, he needs 2 stakes in his heart to start with, okay? He's already got 3 strikes against God. But anyway, John O'Brien and his London personal, friendly, London station chief. Oh God, I had her name right there. It just flashed right past me. Gina Haspel. She later became the head of the FBI, didn't she? Is it Gina Haspel? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. She was in London at the London mission of the CIA running the ops against who? Against George Papadopoulos and Carter Page. Donald Trump's so fucking clueless and in such a fucking groove, he appointed the conspirators against him to lead the CIA. And that's how desperately dumb, that's how fucking retarded the bubble is around our political figures, okay? They don't have a fucking clue. They're swimming in the glue. They're sinking in the shit. But they're getting wealthy. And they're sinking because of all the gold that their people are putting in their pockets. Sons of bitches. Like I'm going to run out of drink again. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Oh man, I am telling you, it's just a fucking sad state of affairs all around, is what I would say. Okay. Confirmed, as I said the other day, fill her up. Record armada of tankers bound inbound to the U.S. Gulf to load oil. Yeah. Donald Trump selling America. Yay! Hey, while the price is high, we're going to cash in. They got a couple tankers full of Venezuelan crude that they need to get rid of. Oh yeah, Markinista, Satan Junior, Satan's little bastard son in New York, Mandami. Listen, I do believe he's satanic. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm just calling it the way I see it in the eyes of a soulless fucking devil. I'll tell you, look in the man Dammy's eyes, and then look into the eyes of Bibi Netanyahu, and you will see the same soulless, and I'll say it again, synagogue of Satan. Be aware. What you ask for is what I would say. And he used his first 100 days speech to announce he has kept his promise to create a chain of city-run grocery stores by pledging to open one store sometime next year. According to the New York Post, the city is planning to make an East Harlem location the first store at a cost of a mere $30 million. It will be located in Marquetta near in La Marquetta near Park Avenue. It's not yet clear if La Marquetta will be renamed La Marxinista. That's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Will be follow a long line of failed state operated and city operated stores. Remember, Mayor in Chicago, Brandon Johnson, he also pledged to have a store like that. And the notable, the stores receive such emphasis by Mandami. It's not difficult to set up a grocery store, particularly when you run a city that approves permits and compliance changes at, well, you're the boss. I mean, you don't have to, look, you're the city. You don't have to comply with your own fucking laws. I see it in Roanoke City all the time. Where, they'll tell you, they'll go around, they'll put stickers and they'll tow people's cars. They'll give people brush, because you have too much brush on your back of your yard, or you need to mow your yard. It's more than 4 inches tall. I was like, Jesus Christ, 4 inches is just like a week's growth in the spring on a healthy yard. Oh man, it's bananas. But when you go around, you look at city property. When you go around and you look at what the city does, I mean, it's two different worlds, right? Well, they give out the tickets, and they're not going to ticket themselves, okay? I mean, it's like expecting a police officer to arrest a police officer, okay? Look, unless there's a fucking 100 witnesses and videotape, and he's caught on audio, no, sorry, no, he's got qualified immunity. Yeah. The propaganda is still coming out over the top. Trump's blockade, a breaking of Iran, has European elites angry. Yeah. I mean, really. Let's be honest. It wasn't just the Chinese that were sucking up all that Iranian sanctioned oil. Okay, it's everybody. Everybody's looking for a deal in today's world. It wouldn't surprise me if you got Exxon, you got an Exxon oil tanker out there, pumping it off of Iranian oil tankers, making an extra, $40 a barrel, just, saying, look, it's Merkin. It's Merkin. I guess that's what's the real pump and dump, huh? Oh, there it is. Wow, look at that. From trucks to tanks. Pentagon looks to automakers to rebuild America's arsenal. How did the United States win World War II? Manufacturing. If we have to go into a manufacturing war against China, Americans are going to be eating a fucking donut sitting on break. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, there's fucking kids that are going to work today that are complaining that they have to work more than 24 hours a week at McDonald's or someplace. Now, I'll tell you right now, some of those jobs, and depending on how busy those shifts are when you come in, especially those lunch rushes. It can get really you have to work your ass off. Those fast food jobs aren't somebody just standing around taking order. I mean, I wonder how many steps those people take a day. But like I said, it won't be too long. It won't be too long. They will have robots literally doing all that. That will all be automated. They will cook fresh hamburger patties to your whatever you choose, or they will already be cooked, I should say, and they will assemble a sandwich. So it is just a matter of time. I saw something. I said, "Oh, motherfucker! I have got to get this." This is everybody. This is a home wannabe. This is for somebody like our friend Captain Fred. Flippy might need one of these too. We'll watch for incoming. Can the FCC? Yeah, someone on GitHub has posted a open source radar system capable of tracking multiple targets at roughly 12 miles away, at a fraction of the cost that a major defense contractor would typically charge for a comparable system. The ARIS-10 is an open source phased array radar system. Hey man, I have got to download those plans. You always got to be prepared, Oh man, I am telling you. Anyway, yeah. Now demonstrates how advanced sensing technology has moved out of the defense prime world into the hands of civilians. One person releasing all the design and development files on GitHub. The 10.5 gigahertz phased array radar system is available in 2 versions. ARIS-10 is an open source, low cost 10.5 gigahertz phased array radar system featuring pulse linear frequency modulated LFM available in a 3-kilometer and a 20-kilometer range. It's designed for, of course, researchers and drone developers, serious SDR enthusiasts who want to explore and experiment with phased array radar technology. Hell yes. Well, I mean, obviously, that's something that is coming on board. Meanwhile, Vladimir Zelensky, yes, the crazies in Kiev are going full Lord of War, as Ukraine is selling battle-tested war robots to the highest bidder. Could be a drug cartel; they don't care. Highest bidder. This is another reason why are we sending $1 to Ukraine? If they can literally run a war times weapons program, they shouldn't get a fucking $1 from the USA, and they should pay back everything they got. Even though I know the motherfuckers won't, even though I know Biden and I know Dumpy Trump gave them grants, gave the money to these motherfuckers. And the first time they said, oh, well, we need something we need something back, man. They had a fit. And they sold a bunch of mineral rights that were in the ground. Oh, Lord, in the middle of the war. Yeah. Well, you can dig them up after the war. Well, if you win. And if you do win, in reality, the reality is what the fucking world's like. I'm just saying. So Zelensky took the stage and started Ukraine's military-industrial base, has created some of the world's most advanced unmanned platforms, already deployed against Russia, and forever changing how warfare is conducted. Yes, Vladimir Zelensky has come a long way from using dildos in a risque sketch on Retards Got Talent, where he found his real calling as a military puppet. Yeah, but he knows his days are numbered. And he's hoping to live to collect and spend all those hundreds of millions of dollars that he has stolen. Not going to happen, dude. Not going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, you can go to an outhouse and take care of yourself. I have, Ukraine's capital markets have been frozen by war. No, they haven't. Leaving many of the country's battlefield-proven war unicorns starved for traditional funding. However, the Middle East conflict has accelerated a new export pathway as drone warfare and AI-enabled kill chains reshape how militaries think about defense. I have no doubt that the Euro-Nazis will release AI killer bots that will kill everything within a certain designated zone. It doesn't matter if it's a cat or a dog, as long as it's got a heat signature, it's going to blow it the fuck up. Yeah. This is these are the horrors of these are just the beginning of the horrors of the robot wars and the robots that will wreak havoc on society, if that makes any sense. Yeah, the Europeans are going to say they're going to put together an armada, and they're going to go down there and they're going to open up the straits. Are they going to run the Trump blockade and say we're opening it for everybody? I mean, that's the question that has to be asked. You have to ask yourself about Saudi Arabia. You have to ask yourself about all that. Yeah, you should Maybe you should be searching the beginnings and the how this religious sect in Saudi Arabia and this the Wahhabism, where it came from and who started it and what mix of uh, what mix of religious and ethnos is it comes from. You might not be surprised, but some people are. Everybody says, "Oh, it's the British put them in charge. It's this person did that, and this person did that." And well, it's a lot broader culture than you may realize. How Bolshevism, Jewish Bolshevism, and Islam joined together to essentially become Wahhabism, or some kind of bastard child, son, mother, daughter of it. It's wow. It's the evolutionary destruction. And so, if you ever wonder why Saudi Arabia has this historic love for Judaism, then you know. It's like, if you know, you know. If you don't know, generally you're being lied to by, some group that has something to gain by your complicit ignorance of truth and reality of the world that we live in today. It is it is crazy. Sam Altman is says, "Oh my God, it's the Luigiing of tech CEOs" in an online message. Yes, Sam Altman's personal home. Somebody tried to, I guess, Molotov cocktail it, and then a couple days later, somebody was shooting the front of it up with a gun. And, bullets were hitting the house. From where and how far, and was it a full-blown terrorist raid, or was it just a few pot shots? That's really the question you really should be asking. But hey. Remember, pot shots get lucky. People get killed and murdered because, an illegal immigrant picks up a gun that he says he found in a bush, which was, these are all lies, right? Let's be honest, okay? The illegal immigrant said, "I found a gun in a bush. I picked it up and it went off." Not the fact that he had stolen the gun from somewhere else and he was going to shoot a seal so they could eat it. Yeah, really. Of course, liberal judicial system, everything gets switched around. The only problem is when he tried to shoot the seal, he shot a woman in the head. Okay? She's dead. He's still looking for, a lamb chop or something. Hell, I don't know. It's just, the outrageous lack of justice in America. They used to say, well, you can't lock everybody up. Yes, you can. If they're a danger to other people, you have to lock them up. It's the duty of that judicial system. To help to protect all of us. But then again, realize, the police through are they don't have to protect New Yorkers or Virginians, or Californians or New Yorkers or wherever they're from. Clearly they don't do a very good job, especially in Plano, fucking Texas. Where is the fucking where are those Texas Rangers? I mean, if mosques anywhere in the United States are marrying children to adults, that entire mosque should be fucking bulldozed like yesterday. Okay? all the people involved should be denaturalized, deported, or stripped of their U.S. citizenship, and said, "Get the fuck out." That's what really should be said. That's what really should be done. Okay. That's the truth that nobody wants to say. But you know, and I know, just as they're putting a hot butter knife or a wood burning tool on a fucking poor young girl's clitoris and says, "It's not supposed to be a happy toy." Burn it, burn it, burn it. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ almighty God. You know that shit goes on in America. Christ, you got actual priests ripping foreskins off of babies and then giving them fucking herpes. Gee, man, talk about the Christly gift that keeps on giving. Remember, it's as long as we talk about Christian religions, we're good. We're not considered anti-Semitic or Islamophobic. Those made-up words that people like to use to. You actually saw the truth for what it was? Yeah, just think if we had a real thing in America, if there was an actual drug that we could give to people that would snap them out of their fucking false reality and their lies that they believe. Man, I tell you, I don't know if I'd want to live in that world. Because they're already going off the deep end like, oh my God. So yeah. Meanwhile, everybody's got that Ozempic personality. Yeah, what they're finding is doctors and patients across social media are reporting a kind of emotional disconnection. They call it an emotional flattening while on fat body drugs. Okay. I mean, I should be on them, but I said, no, look. If I can't control my mouth now, what the fuck does it different if I take a pill to control my fucking mouth to make my ass crap more? Nah, I'll try to learn to control my mouth better. And after all, if you're on them GLP-1 drugs and you just constantly eat and eat and eat, you're going to feel bloated and you're going to be ass blasting. So yeah. So one woman named Corey Stevenson had been feeling off for months. She took a look at a gorgeous birthday cake, or walked outside and looked at a beautiful pink and purple streaked sunset. But yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I have that. Just saying things like, yeah. Well, I've seen so much. I've experienced so much. In this realm of reality, it's like it really takes something over the top, to get my adrenaline flowing again. I mean, as I said, I don't know if I said this before, but last year I took my friend John and his wife to a NASCAR race in Martinsville, Virginia. And it was a little cool, but they loved it. They enjoyed the hell out of themselves. And it is really nice, all the roaring of the cars and the racing and the action and stuff. It's just a small half-mile track. So it's kind of up close. But that's how I felt that whole race. I was, like I was deadline, emotional deadlining. Okay. Man, was that when you need to find yourself a fine hooker and have you blow you back to reality or something? I don't know. Bad, Mitch. Bad. Bad, Mitch. But I understand exactly, what she is saying. It's not depression. It's like everything is just, everything is just, everything is like a wet blanket all over it, if that makes any sense, okay? It could be a beautiful sunny day outside, and it would just be, it's okay. And I've traveled all around the United States. I've actually driven in a car, in my old truck. I drove from Virginia all the way to Homer, Alaska, and back. Okay. I've been into Mexico. I've been all over the world when I was in the Marines. And it's like you see so much. Nothing is really, nothing excites you because you have all of these other. For me, I have all these other experiences to compare it with, and it's like, oh yeah, that's really nice. But it's just like the one over the hill, isn't it? The view. If you ever get a chance to drive the Blue Ridge Parkway, lots of great views, enjoyable, but it's only 45 miles an hour. So that's what I would say. But be aware. Be aware that even though these drugs or bypasses, those helio bypasses and stuff that they did on people shed all that weight and they look hot or good and they feel good about themselves, and then their personality does change. So understand that every action has a reaction, even if it is something along those lines. So be aware that the brake, if we got a brake yet, it's rolling. I'm not sure. Let me check. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got a brake. I got to go check on cats.
The deaths of society upon which this country has fallen, a storm upon the horizon. It's been said that those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear will play a paramount role in the furthering of humanity and civilized society. But can civilized society and humanity survive the coming conflicts not seen since a dawn of time in ages bypast? But you can find true forms of information and knowledge in abundance at revolution.radio, freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported radio station on the globe.
All right, I'm going to mute that.
On the right side of history.
I muted that break. Yeah, so God bless, man. I am telling you. Everything is up in arms today, and everything is changing. Europe is said to have only 6 weeks of jet fuel left. Chances of flight cancellations are looming. Yeah, really? Imagine that. Hey, you might have, if you have to get deported, you might be one of the few people that can get a seat on an airplane. I guess, is that a positive? I don't know. Oh my God. Now let's get back here. We'll try to keep an eye on the Rev Radio thing. Let's see. Swiss Bank calls for a $6,000 gold by the end of the year. Yeah, wow, that's find the oh, Mitch, did you really do that? I clicked on the wrong link like an idiot. Here it is. Let's see. Bump. Gold right now is just a couple $100 short of $5,000 an ounce. Silver is bouncing back up to $80. And platinum, looks like every commodity is up across the board except rhodium, which is still at $10,200. I don't know if that's a pound, an ounce, or a ton, in all honesty. So, yeah. Everything is copper's up 3 cents to $6.09. So, yeah. If you're going to build a still, you better get your copper quickly, I guess is the answer to that question. And, listen, there are lots of places you can go online. There's groups on Facebook that could help you if you choose to make your own moonshine. Should everything go down? Listen, you can make moonshine without electricity. You just remember that. When it all comes down to it, you can grow weed and make moonshine. I'm just saying that there are ways to live and exist and make money in different styles and different parts of economies that you may have never thought of before. Okay? That's like I told somebody last week. I said, man, I thought about the time you to start up a company working on foreclosed houses. Oops. God, I'm sorry. I'm talking over the break, ain't I? I must have turned this mic on. I thought I turned it off, but I may not have. The way I'm going right now, I'm just trying to keep up. Hey, there we go. Hey, sorry about that. I was off and on and on and off. And, yeah, up and down and around. The cat's chasing everybody around the house. And, wow. It is a crazy world that we're living in right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I will say. Pete Hegseth has been referred for impeachment over 6 alleged war crimes. That's right. The leader at the Department of War has been, the target of an impeachment process. How far will it go? And will it stick? I guess is the other real question. Okay. Now Hegseth has, I guess, had a dog and pony show this morning, a press conference. He says the blockade stays as long as it takes. Ships now fair game for search and seizure. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is all piracy. Okay, you can try to claim the fucking upper hand of militarily. You can do all this, but it is not legal and is not moral. The fact is, the Hormuz Straits, for the most part, are what? Are the territorial waters of Iran. I don't like it. I think the motherfuckers had years to build pipelines around the Hormuz Strait, knowing what the problems is and could be, might be, okay? So the U.S. Navy is saying that it is now fair game to board and search and outright seizure of what they call suspicion of contraband. Now this is after it has been now confirmed that Chinese tanker that the United States government said turned around and went back, evidently made a U-turn and went out through the straits and is headed to China. Okay. Also, there is now this whole problem of spoofing of ship credentials that is going on. So while a ship may appear to be a ship that may be a ship that might be a ship, okay, of another different name of another country, of another possible sanctioned state. Okay. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. Okay. Hegg says the U.S. forces are ready to restart combat. If Iran doesn't agree to a deal and straight blockade to continue as long as it takes. They say 13 ships have already turned around. Iran's parliament speaker Mahad Magher calls for a ceasefire in Lebanon as important as a ceasefire in Iran. Of course, those conflicts are directly connected. Okay. Now, Israel and the United States says, no, they're not. And, you know, we can get into a discussion about whether they are or whether they're not. The real fucking discussion should be the actions of Israel, the actions of Israeli settlers, and the false flags and the murders committed by Israel. This is not, what Israel is doing is not self-defense, okay? They're actually carrying some kind of religious symbol that is like something that they carry when they're going to conquer a fucking land. Listen, yeah, just like Catholics, you know, they hearken back to a lot of worshiping of rituals and blood and sacrifice and all this other stuff, instead of, you know, repenting and worshiping God. They worship a dozen other who knows what's, okay? And anybody can say what they want, but if you have a religion that says you can get rid of all of your sins that you committed through the year by swinging a chicken over your head 3 times, then you and your religion are wholly fucking retarded, okay? You're so lost in ritualistic, cannibalistic, sorry-ass shit, you can never reach reality. And the other part of that is, you can never separate reality and your religion and the rest of the world. Because you have been taught in Judaism and in Islam. Those folks have been taught that they're basically our slave masters. This is what they believe at the core parts of their religions. This is another reason why I say, you know, Judaism and Islam is, they can go pound fucking sand. And they're not civilized at any measure. And listen, civilized and civilized peoples, it doesn't matter if you have a laser. It doesn't matter if you have a cell phone. It doesn't matter if you have a fucking hovercraft or an electromagnetic whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the actions of people and their treatment of others that determine whether they're some worthless psychopathic piece of human garbage or they are an honorable human being. We're not talking about in times of war and in times of conflict. We're talking about just in their general social structure. And as we can see, the rape of Islamic children and Islam by, you know, its elders in the group, you know. And we see the rape and the destruction of everybody else that is, that is not Jewish, around Jewish societies. I don't think most people can understand it. Most people can't understand how different societies exist in America. You know, understand, you know, we can go to the same high school class, college class. We can get the same textbook. We can read the exact same words. And because of our mind, we will filter and we will calculate and we will translate those words with different values than other people's do. If we didn't, everybody would essentially get the same class, the same grade in class. Okay, everybody would be able to add 2 plus 2, multiplied by 6 plus whatever, and do some kind of basic algebraic equation. Okay, because that is those, just like this idea. There's an idea that's floating around that they don't want to teach cursive in school. Okay, and the reason they don't want to do it is because they don't want people to have a good grasp of reading cursive wording and cursive language so they can have what? A good read of the Constitution. I just think it all boils down to dumbing down and control. If you to write cursive, your mind is engaging. When you're it's different. When somebody uses cursive most of the time today, they're mindlessly signing something. Okay, a lot of times it looks like a doctor's scribble. That's cursive today for a lot of people. Okay. But cursive causes right brain, left brain, and these things to work together. It's not so much you can't read the Constitution. It's your brain is working together. Your brain is not separated. And these are the things that we have to understand, that there are basic psychologies. Just like this idea of not talking about politics around the dinner table. That started because everybody was talking about politics. Everybody was talking about race. Everybody was talking about all this stuff. And people were thinking and wondering. And people came up with their own agendas and their own ideas. So we had to start a meme back in the fucking 60s and 70s. No talking about politics, the Vietnam War. I know families that would take and turn and watch the war news as they ate. Okay. And there's different types of that. Remember, that's more indoctrination. If that's all you do, you don't have a discussion, right? But if you talk about stuff over, people then connect. People understand each other. And that leads to more cooperation amongst citizens. Then the citizens are not divided. And the citizens can then what? Can act in a real grassroots fashion. But we don't have that today. Everybody gets their talking points. Everybody watches social media. And then you have these organized monopolies, political monopolies that literally are. We have a Democrat political monopoly that is running Virginia today. And all of these motherfuckers, I believe, are violating this idea of a monopoly. Because all the Democrat National Committee, Abigail Spanberger herself and her campaign, every fucking campaign, pretty much in the United States, in all of Congress and all state legislatures are what? The people create their own what? Their own fucking corporation. So if you want to know and understand why Alexander Ocasio-Cortez can go from being dumb drunk to fucking $30 million. If you want to know why Indiana Presley can go from $12,000 net value, up to $12 or 12,000, up to 15 million or somewhere 8 million, millions of dollars, okay, in just a few years. It's because they have all incorporated themselves. And so everything is an incorporation, and a donation is a donation to the corporation, to the campaign. not to the person, even though it only benefits one person, right? It only benefits the. And see, this is how they get away with all this stuff. It's just like Fannie Willis, okay? The Fannie Willis from Atlanta, Georgia. She had hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash hidden in her fucking closet that she kept from her campaign. I'm just saying this business of politics and the monopolies that have come out of it are more vicious and are worse for the American people than the monopolies that the Walmart and Target and the big box stores, Amazon and other places represent to the threat of the people. But hey, yeah, next rant. What do we got to rant about next? Oh, wow, look at that. Australia's failed green domestic energy policies. Really? As I said, Australia has been under the gun. First, they had a cyclone, direct hit on one of the refineries for their liquefied natural gas. And now, with the fuel shock, it's crazy. Let's see, domestic energy prices had already sparked a fuel supply shock in Australia after the U.S. and Iran conflict disrupted tankers at the Hormuz checkpoint or choke point. Now a fire has broken out at the larger of Australia's two remaining oil refineries, adding even more supply woes. Yes, wow. Man, that's a pretty... yeah, that looks like that's kind of out of control. Really. It really is, wow. Burning up. Oops. Dang, nabbit. Well. Wow. Like I said, if you're Australian, if you're any nation, you should be developing your own fuel supply and try to figure out how you can use ethanol and alcohol that you can make, okay, from the products that you have. You can distill the energy that you need. You may not have to literally, pull it out of the ground and then process it, okay? Wow, they say the refinery accounts for roughly 10 to 12% of Australia's fuel supply, while covering about half of Victoria, Australia's fuel demand. So be aware if you're down under. Yeah. Oil refinery is engulfed in flames. Wow, that is some...
A massive blaze has engulfed a Victorian oil refinery.
I finally found a clip that's long enough. I found a couple 5-second clips, but, you really can't see much in 5 seconds of a fire. Just a big ball of flame. Well, anyway, here we go.
A massive blaze has engulfed a Victorian oil refinery, with firefighters yet to bring the inferno at the Viva Energy refinery near Geelong under control. The Corio refinery, operating for 7 decades, is one of only 2 working oil refineries in Australia. Viva produces 120,000 barrels of oil each day, providing 10% of the nation's supply and 50% of Victoria's fuel supply.
Well, anyway, that's not a positive development for those guys. Australia was already on the energy bubble, so to speak, and Yeah, now even more they're looking at the wow, the ass of a dead dog, man. That's bad. That is bad. Uh, wow. Rare apology, I guess. Probably pushed by Supreme Court leader John Roberts. Sotomayor has now apologized for criticizing Brent Kavanaugh over an immigration case. Sonia Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice, said, "Man, I apologized to her statement for comments she recently made about Justice Brent Kavanaugh. At a recent appearance at the University of Kansas School of Law, I referred to a disagreement with one of my colleagues in a prior case, but I made remarks that were inappropriate," Sotomayor said in a statement released by the Supreme Court. "I regret my hurtful comments. I have apologized to my colleague," blah, blah, blah. Sotomayor was at the event on April the 7th, where she criticized Kavanaugh over his stance involving U.S. Immigration and Customs agents stopping individuals to question them about their immigration status. Yeah, really. Her remarks appear to reference the September 8th, 2025 emergency order, Noam versus Vanquez Perdomo, which allowed immigration enforcement to continue while legal challenges proceed. Just because there are legal challenges against immigration and enforcement and all this other stuff, we just can't stop enforcement. We just can't stop removing 25 million illegal motherfuckers that Joe Biden and the desperado Democrats have brought into the United States of America to gerrymander every fucking state that they can make super Democrat majorities. And then over a decade or two, they institute California style, communist rules and laws. And next thing you know, America looks like fucking New Delhi on a good day. Yeah. Absolutely fucking un-American, unconstitutional, and just plain fucking disgusting. What we see has happened with the United States of America. That's why I say Mayorkas and that other fucking bubblehead that was up there in immigration. The Director of Homeland Security. Those motherfuckers should be sent to prison for dereliction of fucking duty. And here's the ticket. If they have direct orders from the president or the president's subordinates or whatever to literally allow everybody in and have it restrained, then fine. Then the fucking then the people above them, their heads will roll, and his head will stay on his shoulders, but he will be going to fucking prison for a long, long fucking time. And a bunch of these fucking cocksuckers are already dying. They claiming Parkinson's, they claiming dementias, they claiming all this other fucking stuff. And if I committed the crimes these fucking cocksuckers had in the United States government, I'd have fucking Alzheimer's too. John Brennan, what about a piece of shit that a piece of hemorrhoid shit that dropped off the government a long time ago? James Baker III, okay? Later, that fucking piece of shit turd landed at where? Landed at Twitter. Before when Jack Dorsey run it as a deep state operation machine. Today, it's a propaganda front of a different color. The real question is it genuine or is it fucking deep state psychological bullshit as usual? That's the hardest things to figure out, folks. Whether your mind is getting fucked and humped and you're not getting enjoyment out of it, or it's a bold-faced reality check. That's the biggest thing that you have to worry about. That's the biggest problem here in America. We don't know what the fuck is real and not real anymore. I listen to what people tell me and I'm like, what fucking planet are you motherfuckers from? Where did you learn that shit? You've never stood and paid attention? I mean, there's people, listen, it's as crazy as this statement. There are people that don't even understand how a fucking door works, okay? Literally. They couldn't understand the door has some hinges, that, you know, 2 hinges with a pin in it so one can turn. Literally, people don't understand that. They're just basic things of life and reality. It's like, God, I know a guy. I really like that guy. I really like Mike. His name was Mike. But Mike, I don't know. Thought processes and all that other stuff, everything is different. And anyway, him and I got into a big argument, you know. But what I will tell you is one of the biggest things that I learned from Mike, and not about Mike, but from Mike. Listen, Mike was well read. He read all the philosophers, you know, from back in the day to whenever. Okay, all kinds of different philosophy books, all kinds of different political philosophy and social philosophy books, and everything. And you know what I learned from Mike? Through our discussions and our arguments and our everything, is that people haven't changed. They're still the same stupid, grubby, fucking human beings that they were 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. The only thing that really has changed, for most people, their medulla oblongata hasn't moved forward 1 centimeter in advancement of life, okay? That's just a sad truth of human nature. And what I understood and as human nature, I don't know about all, I mean, I can't even hardly remember Nietzsche's name, let alone what the fuck he was quoted for and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know these fucking guys. The only thing I know is human nature. And it is the same today as it was then. So, be aware. Be aware that while the tools of mankind have changed, while we have cell phones and we have digits and we send people to space, you know, we have Starlight, we have Starlink, you know, we have literally digital air, we have airway magic flying through the airwaves. Okay, we have magic working through cords and stuff. We have lights and everything and fire on demand. To a lot of people, that would be magic. I'm just saying. Be aware. While the tools of your life have changed, for most individuals on this big, beautiful ball of planet, their ideas and they has not advanced hardly at all. As much knowledge and as much as everything that we can be exposed to, most people are still stuck in this little fucking comfortable golden box that they built for themselves. A lot of people just want to fucking, you know, throw a meth flame to it, you know? It's a brave new world. I think somebody wrote a book like that. Wasn't that almost Huxley? Hey. Anyway, yeah. New Hungarian Prime Minister, yes, shed his Jewish skull cap. you can always tell people's tribes, right? I mean, nuns wear the full, the full dude thing, Islamic women, they're usually ragged and bagged from top to the bottom. And most Islamic men wear dresses anyway, so what the fuck, okay? Or I should say, it seems like most of the people in the Middle East wear a fucking dress anyway. And maybe that makes cross-dressing easy. I don't know. Not my fucking thing, okay? But this guy has got rid of his Jewish skull cap. He so proudly, took his win. When he won, he made sure he wore that. Today, when he was making speeches for the Hungarian people, he removed it. He said borders will remain shut to immigrants for the time. Yes, but what we all know is that things are going to change drastically as one of the last firewalls for the European Soviet Socialist Union and the creeping communism which it represents has one less roadblock to how should we say it? Standing in their way to total to capitulation of all the nations of the European Union and reorganizing them into a solidified super state. Okay, I think they're going to have to do that anyway because that's the only way they're going to be able to try to get around this Islamic rise in all of the nations of Europe. Okay, as I said earlier, I mean these people are organizing now. The Irish Republican Army and all of their Patriot allies and all their other people, they all have found a new cause to fight for their own country. That's not. Some people say that's discriminatory and that's racist and blah blah blah. And what is racist is bringing in a bunch of people that don't have your culture and then allowing them to wholesale rape 100, 200 plus thousand young British white girls that were Christians. Why? Because they were white and they were Christian. Fuckers need a stake in their heart, okay? And the UK government did nothing. And now rape, murder, robbery, and everything else has become institutionalized in their nation. They are completely fucking lost. And as J.D. Vance said, well, hey, you got to watch the UK. I mean, they're an Islamic nation right now with fucking nuclear weapons. Did he forget about Pakistan? I mean, Jesus. People are so selective in the fucking stupidness of their statements, it's not even funny. I admit it. I do it sometimes. Wow, look, all of a sudden a news article pop up. Yes, that's right. This morning at 6:30, speculation explodes about the disappearance of a 10th expert. UFO and nuclear secrets are awash today everywhere, I guess. I mean, listen, that's not an accident. I don't give a fuck who you are. You have 10 people working basically in the same facility and in the cross of the departments. They start fucking dropping dead. And in a year, 10 have died. Well, that's listen, if I was paranoid, hey, here, you want to know the truth? If I was fucking paranoid, I mean, you're talking about 10 people over about 10 to 11 months. I mean, if I was paranoid, if I was somebody that was, really had that paranoia behavior, I would stop and look at Revolution Radio. I'm just saying. When Mona Radler passed away, long time host at Revolution Radio. She passed away, I think it was 2 years, December. Are you aware? Are you aware that Revolution Radio, Revolution Radio lost 14 hosts or former hosts? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Over a year and a half to 2 years. Literally, so many people on the staff over at Revolution Radio just, December 2023. Yep. And then the mechanic in March. Dry fly guy. Then Trucker Gerald. Then Arizona Keith in October 2024. Tony, why not? Down in Texas. November 2024. Scott Bennett, former host, died of pancreatic cancer in California. Sean David Morton, on the 18th of 2024. I mean, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Revolution Radio hosts died in 2024. Okay. And, I know 3 people personally, 3 people here where I live that have died this year already. My friend Rodney, our friend Connie, and Buddy Overstreet. I mean, really. And I'm extremely concerned about my friend, and can't say much more, but even though I want to, and then I know, besides that, I know, I know 20 people that or more that have died in the last 2 years. And it's coincidence? God bless, I don't know. My neighbor Jeff died just in when his cancer was reanimated by his COVID shots. I told him not to get it, but he said he believed his immune system was so screwed up that that the COVID vaccine wouldn't do anything to him. Well, it reanimated his cancer. His cancer had been in remission for years because he used ivermectin and fenbendazole. He did have some targeted radiation therapy. I think he had 1 or 2 rounds of quote unquote chemotherapy, and he said, "No, I ain't taking that shit anymore." And so he didn't take a lot of opioids that they were giving him. Understand, a lot of these fucking drugs that they give you for symptoms and stuff, they will fucking cause you to be fucked in the end, okay? Gabapentin. People see it, they're giving it for nerves and pain and whatever. Look, if you have it, consult your doctor first, okay? That's what I'll say. Consult somebody, talk to somebody else, but think of an alternative, because gabapentin will give you fucking what? Oh, that's right, it gives you dementia, okay? Yeah. There's a half a dozen other, regular drugs that they give you. Some of them rot your teeth from the inside out. They don't give you those fucking side effects because why? Well, hey, the medical industry isn't about really, it's about really curing somebody, is it? It's about extending and attempting to extend, their life, but at a price. So yeah. Well, let's see. Let's go down here to the next page of the next page. Germany accelerates its kamikaze drone stockpiling with the Metal deal. It seems that drones are becoming, everybody's favorite whatever because, hey, listen, $1,000 off-the-shelf commercial drone, hobby-style drone system can be turned into a bombing system, a suicide bombing system, literally within a few minutes. You could be dropping, mortar shells and bombs on, onto targets with your drone. It's even if you just brought it off the shelf. Yeah. 60 Minutes, CBS 60 Minutes left out the most damning part of a story they just recently did about truck drivers that can't speak English. They can't read English. They shouldn't be on the road at all anywhere, okay, in the United States. However, what we are finding out is the foreign ownership of trucking companies and these chameleon trucking companies that literally, push drivers until they fall asleep. And if you're based in Serbia, if your trucking company is outside the United States, then it's not American, is it? It's Serbian. You're just hiring American drivers. I'm just saying it's crazy. Okay. Secretary Treasury Bassett says that China keeps a running tally of China as an unreliable global partner. He says the count now stands at 3. Yeah. How to prove you're a fucking retard without directly saying, I'm a retard, okay? I mean, Treasury Secretary Bassett, I mean, do you think the Chinese government works for you and the American government and for the American people? Or they work for the Chinese Communist Party and the fucking Chinese people, you knucklehead? Unreliable global partner. You know what that's code word for? You didn't suck my ass enough. This is just like the U.S. military too. The only way you can really get promoted outside of wartime is if you suck ass. If you're so spittin' shiny and your nose is covered with your fucking CO's ass wipings, okay? Fucking disgusting. Global, unreliable global partner. Jesus, fuck, America's an unreliable global everything. Ha! Fucking ass wipes. Business financial distress. In other words, businesses are under economic stress. Nears the COVID levels as the number of sole traders numbers rise. The proportion of new employer businesses in the workforce hit a record low in 2025. More are now at risk of failing than before the pandemic. Okay. Businesses start up and they fail. That's just the reality of most businesses. Most businesses, small businesses, are individuals running a smaller family business, and whether it's through just through the family or through competition, they fail. Sometimes family businesses are extremely tough because there are people within the family that just believe they're fucking entitled to whatever. Yeah. Not only that, they can put your freedom at risk. Okay. Yeah, as I said the other day, it has been confirmed that Waymo and partners with Waze to use their self-driving cars to track potholes. I believe that these will be monetized and turned into the government, and these people will get a reward. Now, the average person wouldn't get a reward, but that's probably the way it's going. Well, the pentagram. Oh God, the pentagram is accused of a cover-up. I mean, well, excuse me, for all of you that don't know, I mean the Pentagon is accused of covering up after missing a deadline on 46 unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, and instead of UFOs. That's right. Scotty, beam me the fuck up. Get me the fuck out of here. I know you left me behind by accident, but I want to go. Oh, I'm waiting to hear that echo in the chamber anywhere somewhere. Anyway, the Pentagon has come under fire for failing to meet a congressional deadline to release dozens of military videos showing UFOs, sparking fresh claims of a bureaucratic stall on one of the most sensitive national security issues in a decade. Let's see, Anna Paulina Luna from Florida, Press Secretary Defense Pete Hegseth on 46 specific clips by April the 14th. Whistleblowers had told her task force that the Pentagon All Domains Anomaly Resolution Office already possessed the records, yet the deadline passed with no delivery. Listen, none of these people are going to be held accountable in the Pentagon. Nobody in the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, the DOJ, none of these backstabbing, sorry ass fucking bastards have been held to any amount of the rule of law. Okay? Not a fucking one of them. Okay? The truth is, as far as I'm concerned, we just need to whack them all. Because these traitorous fucking bastards are not going to go anywhere because of the power structures that are within our government, okay? That the truth is that, our government is essentially run by a shadow intelligence system. I don't even want to call it the deep state. I believe it's like a shadow intelligence system, similar to like the Five Eyes, kind of a collage of groups and individuals from different countries that want the power to literally to have total information awareness. That way they can literally act and react in real time. I just can't trust any of these people, in all honesty. With John O'Brien still walking around instead of strung up from a fucking hangman's noose, to Barack Obama walking around like he's king fucking shit and shit queen, and I mean, really. From Chuck Schumer to Mitch McConnell to Paul Ryan. Remember that fucking piece of turd? That big fat drunk, that other drunk fuck from John Boehner from Ohio. Listen, look, the number of traitors are a mile long, and they go back 50 years. That's the truth that nobody wants to. That's how long the conspiracy has been going on, to literally seize direct control of the United States of America. Now that they have control of the federal administrative state, And they are literally working state by state to overthrow state by state constitutions because of why? Because America itself is this constitutional republic, and that every state within the United States is its own independent country. This cooperation, this collaboration of states that we have today has been corrupted. And our founding fathers knew and understood that a constitutional republic was subject to this corruption, and but it was the freest style of governance there is. Not this Fabian walking socialism, or this, German style trickle down Marxism, or the straight out communism of, numbers and numbers that everybody gets, It's like the stupid mama that's got 8 kids because she used pregnancy as birth control, okay? So she's got 8 or 10 kids. Talk about trying to give one piece of something to every kid. There's going to be inequality there when you have all those kids and you have this limited amount of resources. That's just the truth and reality of the world that people have created for themselves, yet they expect someone else to literally to make the difference, okay? So yeah. More word on this referral. Listen, the truth is, I think I even got off track about all this because when I was talking about Gina Haspel at the London mission working against Trump and his team, right? Understand that there was another guy. His name was Michael Atkinson, okay? And he got promoted to the Intelligence Community Inspector General slot. He was also, I believe, involved in the, essentially the Trump assassination, political assassination attempt, okay? That was driven through Obama, driven through the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. Dozens of government agencies were literally poison-pilled for the Trump administration. The sideshow Bob III and his cackle of retarded hitmen lawyers. I mean, it's bad when, people like Andrew Weissman, who would, if his mother turned Republican, would indict her for birthing him. That fucking sorry bastard couldn't find anything on Trump. And this was the most bizarre thing that came out, really, of the special counsel about Russiagate, or I should say about Donald Trump's actions with Russians, okay, and his campaign. Remember, all of that was planted by the intelligence services in April, May, and mostly in June until they start. And then once they start the investigative ball rolling, they have literally the rumor mill and they have the media mill, where they then literally use the wrap-up smear and market all of that stuff. This is a typical standard deep state mind rinsing and then brain washing. Remember, you have to rinse the brain first before you can install the new program. You have to try to wipe clean all of the previous thoughts through one mechanism or another. It may just be, repetition of some negative thoughts. Donald Trump, 34 felonies. Donald Trump, 34 felonies. Yeah, I've never known a fucking man to get sued for paying off a blackmailer, especially one who is president of the United States. And there was a woman that was blackmailing the president of the United States because he paid her $10,000 for a blowjob and some pussy. Not the best deal I can think of when you see Skanky Stormy Daniels or Stephanie Clifford or whatever her fucking name is anymore. I mean, really. Hey, yeah, at least Hunter had a decent looking stripper not get knocked up, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, also, meanwhile, that story has been confirmed that Hunter Biden has left the country. That's right. Hunter Biden is living in South Africa with his wife. Can you imagine that? So yeah, Hunter Biden is ex parte gone. He said bye bye. Come and collect your money. Well, anyway. As I asked on Jonathan Turley this morning on jonathanturley.org over there, they were talking about it, and I said, when is it appropriate for the son and a president to be agents of the CIA while they're at the executive levels of the United States government? We have spooks among us, and they're just, wow, crazy stuff. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow is Crazy Ass Fridays, and, well, I expect it to be, well, crazy. We'll be back. God bless. Good day. Good luck, everybody. Revolution Radio is out the door. That's right. We still have a couple minutes of opining left here. Yeah, Michael Atkinson. Listen, he was part of the cover-up. Just as all of these fucking inspector generals. Listen, they are not about finding the truth. They are about covering up for political malfeasance and minimizing the damage and putting it in a context so it can be, well, isolated, and that other people in the government will not be hurt by it. The deep state and the dirty deeds done dirt cheap is well, that's just true. There's a bunch of them that need to go to prison. Devin Nunes still claims the raid on Mar-a-Lago was to find Russiagate documents that Donald Trump kept. I wouldn't be surprised, because the government is lying. The government refines its lies, and then the government refines the truth. Like Lois Lerner, that piece of shit under the Obama administration. Why has the Attorney General not asked for her testimony to be unsealed? She wanted it sealed because she said it would cause people to want to kill her and others. Well, I can understand that. Hell, you could just say hello to some people and before they had their coffee, and they're like, rah, 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 rah. Well, I'm just saying there's people that you can say anything to, and they won't care because they know. But there's some people you can say something to, and they'll go off the fucking deep end and go murder us in a heartbeat. But the raid on Mar-a-Lago, the FBI panty raid of the drawers looking for the documents. Is basically a document from Devin Nunes laying out all of the conspiracies. And not one of these motherfuckers have been even implicated. Not one of these fucking cocksuckers in the Jeffrey Epstein stuff have. You know, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen high-profile assassinations. I haven't seen these motherfuckers on Jeffrey Epstein's list having an accident. You know, I don't see these fucking cocksuckers that do 5 years after they murder 2 or 3 people because they're in the hood and they're in the right color, and they say I'm crazy because, you know, I mean, really. They let them out of prison in a few years, and what do they get to do? They get to kill again. Well, you know, it's, just like the one guy said to the guy that murdered his father. He got 10 years. I'm gonna be waiting for your motherfucking ass when you get out. Justice in America is hard to find. Try not to take it into your own hands. That's my advice. But sometimes that's not possible. So be well, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow for Crazy Ass Fridays. Good day. God bless you. And good luck.